When we have a lot of data, it does help to group it into a group frequency table, which makes finding the averages very, very simple as long as you know the methods, which we're going to cover today. The only issue is that we do lose the raw data. So a mean, for instance, is an estimated mean. To put this data into a grouped frequency table, we need to first of all figure out what our groups are going to be. So we can pick the groups of 0 to 10, 10 to 20 and 20 to 30. But the problem is that 10 could go in the first or second group. So we use these inequalities to say if it's 10, it goes in the second group. Then we can just work out our frequencies by counting up how many are between 0 and 10 but not including 10. There are 15 and then 19 in the next group and 12 in the final group. Let's have a go at these questions. To answer this question, we would normally find the FH column and then add them together to find the total amount. But we're unable to multiply, for instance, 0 to 10 by 14. We need a number that represents 0 to 10. This is where the midpoint comes in to save the day. The midpoint is the number halfway between 0 and 10. You can always find it by adding up the two numbers together and halving it. Now we can multiply the frequencies by the midpoints for our FX column. Add these together to find the estimated total of heights, and we get our answer, 375 centimeters. To find the mean, we're going to do sum of the FX over sum of the F. We're going to add up all the numbers in the FX column and divide it by adding up all the numbers in the frequency column, which will give us 12.1 centimeters to three significant figures. To find the modal class, we can't find the mode anymore, we find the modal class. And the class is a fancy way of saying group. So which group has the most in? Looking at the frequency column, we've got 14 is our biggest frequency, so the modal class is that group next to the 14. So 0 to 10. But make sure you copy it down exactly as it shows in the table. The median is going to be slightly trickier because we can't write out these numbers anymore, but there is a lovely formula for finding out the median. It's n plus 1 over 2. N is the amount of numbers, which is the sum of the frequencies, which is 31. So we do 31 plus 1, which is 32, divided by 2, 16. Now this doesn't show us what the median is, it shows us where the median is. The median is the 16th number. Looking down our table, we can see the first 14 numbers are in the first group, and then the next 12 are in the next group, so our median will be in that second group. The first thing to do with this question is add a midpoint column, and you can do that by finding the number halfway between 2.7 and 2.9, which will be 2.8. If you're ever unsure, just add the two numbers together and divide by 2. That'll always give you the midpoint. Now, I'm going to, for simplicity, label frequency 1 as F and frequency 2 as G. And we're going to add our Fx and Gx columns on by multiplying each of the frequency columns by the midpoints. You might choose to do this as two separate tables, and that might be a nice idea and to stop you from getting muddled up with all these numbers. We're going to focus on Gardner 1, which is the F and Fx column, and we're going to do sum of Fx over sum of F, and it will give us 3.10 to three significant figures. Gardner 2 will be the sum of Gx over the sum of G, which will give us 3.09 to three significant figures. Always make sure you write a conclusion. So 3.10 is slightly larger than 3.09, so Gardner 1's fruit on average was slightly larger than Gardner 2. Let's finish on this. Harry says that in the group 2 to 8, the midpoint is 4. Explain why Harry is incorrect. If you know, write it in the comments below. And you can also come to onmaths.com or click the link in the description where you can access all of our free A-level papers and predictions, and you can even save your scores with a free account. This video is part of a larger A-level course where you can follow along with at onmaths.com.